Welcome to all the bold, courageous, and powerful women tuning in to Find Your Fabulous. I'm your host, Dr. Diane, and it's time to ignite your full power. Are you ready to embrace your talents and worth and unleash the wise goddess within? I've got the information, inspiration, and revelation you need to ignite your personal power so you can stop playing small and reclaim the passion and purpose that we all hold within us. Connect with other powerful spiritual women who yearn to be fully expressed. The world needs you. Full power. Let me guide you to find your fabulous and ignite your inner goddess. It all starts now on the Find Your Fabulous show. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison, and you are listening to Find Your Fabulous on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience the pathway to finding your fabulous. Join us every first and third Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, where we will have information, inspiration, and revelation to help you ignite your personal power and reclaim the passion and purpose we all hold within us. Today, I have with me Dr. Pat Baccili, founder of Transformation Talk Radio, here to discuss the concept of becoming full power, as well as sharing with us her own empowerment journey. We are here today to inspire and delight you. Dr. Pat Baccili is a leader in the field of human potential and the creator of the remarkable Epic World, an international award-winning talk radio host, TV commentator, keynote speaker, certified career and belief coach, dynamic seminar leader, award-winning author and researcher on fostering respect and trust in the workplace, inspirational speaker, and CEO of a successful motivational company. In 2013, Dr. Pat launched her international coaching initiative, Epic Living, for individuals, groups, and organizations. Let's welcome Dr. Pat Baccili to the Find Your Fabulous show. Hello, Dr. Pat.
Hey, I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. First of all, congratulations on your show, number one. And congratulations on taking a topic on, especially a topic that is very difficult for women. The idea of even saying the word powerful or I am powerful has been really a struggle for more than you can even imagine. Thousands of years it's been difficult. But you're stepping into full power by bringing the topic to the forefront, aren't you?
I'm sure trying. This is my passion. This is my mission. This is what I'm living for. So let's start by me giving you the juicy question I'm going to ask all my guests, which is, what does becoming full power mean to you, and how did you discover yours?
So if I were to say that I'm done, that would be I would be misstating that. I think we're all works in progress, but I think we know when we're less than that. I think we know when we're less than. And what I mean by that is we can point to situations and times in our lives where others have had power over us, where we have not been able to look at a strong personal power that's within us, that's based on, it's based on self-efficacy. It's based on what we know about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. And I think one of the things that we were reminded of during coming out of the pandemic is that there are two things that pop in. But to answer your question really succinctly, when I think about power and full power, I am looking at not just what people see in our physical selves, right? Powerful person, right? Harley Davidson, powerful motorcycle. none of that. I am looking at the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. And when I look at full power for myself, I've got to really be able to check off the boxes in each of those. And some days I can really give myself a 10 out of 10 and other days not. But how do you bring those all full circle to understand that? But in order for any of us to understand the notion that we have personal agency over our life and our events is important.
Right.
Now, there's a caveat to a point. We have personal agency over who we are and how we show up in, for the most, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional. But other things happen in life. Resilience has to play a part in this, because if life hits us like the pandemic, are we going to move forward from a place of positive centric or not? And that, I think, is the key to what you're saying, or has been for me.
Yeah, I can really relate that, and resilience, because no matter how successful we may seem, life does not stop throwing challenges at us in the least.
No.
And being able to pick yourself up and begin again is so important. Learning from what the challenge was versus letting it overtake you.
Yeah. I need to point to the people that mentored me, that guided me, influenced me. All of those people, without pointing, there's not enough time in the show. But when I think about them, I think about their self-efficacy. I think about how their ability to cooperate with others. I think about these things extremely at the top. They lead by example. They're inspiring. They influence their peers. But they do this by fostering a positive worldview. They're assertive, but respectful. Successful but humble, driven but stable. See, these are the people I think about when I think about your definition of full power. You have to have that balance. It is very difficult to have to say my personal power checkbox is a 10 if you're afraid to ask for things, or if you're afraid to speak. It's very difficult to really even feel that sense of full power. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I was just at a retreat with 20 very high power women of all kinds of professions, and we practiced asking for what you want. We practice that, and practice saying yes, practice saying no, practice saying maybe with clarity. And even all these very educated, very professional women needed that practice. And it was amazing and very empowering.
Yeah. I wonder, I don't know if you've given this some thought, but I've wondered what the impact of the pandemic has been. For a lot of us, it elevated us to really take more risks, to step out. I had to think back a little bit, given where I am now with the network and what we're about to do. And I had to think back because somebody asked me this question. They said, how did you even make it through the pandemic, Pat? How did a network like yours make it through? And that's not a simple answer, and there's not enough time to do that. But one of the things that I also believe is if you're stepping into this realm of full power, if you're really stepping into that, then you have to allow yourself to have an imagination which catapults you to action. It's one thing to dream, but it's another thing to take a dream and to do something about it. You and I have talked about this, Dr. Diane. People with personal power affect changes around them by regulating themselves. And I really have been looking at myself recently because there's a bit of stress that I've been under, and I've been watching this. And this is a personal goal of mine. I have got to really look at this idea of regulating myself as opposed to, positioning power where you affect change by regulating other people, right? You ever try to change somebody else? You ever see, what's that like?
It does not work.
No, it doesn't. It's funny because you think about the people that are close to you, right? And do you accept them for who they are? Do you want to change them? And if that's where you are, now there are some things in the world that we want to change. And we have the ability to express ourselves and we have the ability to make some of that change. If you want to help women, start a nonprofit. If you want to have a voice, host your own show. But if you're doing it to get attached to an outcome to change a person, boy, that is going to be a tough road, right?
Right. Because we only have control over ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time we don't do that really well. I wanted to, before we have to go to a break, I wanted to ask one more question. I find in my work as a clinical psychologist that so many gifted and talented women end up playing small. You are really not such a woman. Where did you find the courage to play your biggest game? Who was your role models?
I had two role models out of the gate. My mom, who taught me about full unconditional love, and then my stepmom, who taught me about how to be a human being in the world. But I've had other people that have helped me along the way. I think about who I learned respect from. I learned that from my best friend's mom and dad. Didn't really quite understand respect. I learned about humility from my 12-step program. And so there are different places, but I'll tell you, I've had more angels and guardians along the way than you can imagine. I think the difference is I lived most of my life really ignorant, and it served me. And I don't want people to get confused here between ignorance and stupidity. They're not the same. Stupidity is when you know better and off you go. Ignorance is this open place. And, every time I mention this word, Dr. Diane, I get a million emails from thought leaders. They just like, Pat, why are you saying? See, ignorance is this beautiful word. It's the word that allows you to say, I just don't know what I don't know. It doesn't mean I'm never going to know it or I don't have the ability to know it.
Right.
But that key for me got me to right here, got me to a network because I didn't know. I would have never applied for a graduate and a doctoral program if I knew what I learned after I got in the program. I wouldn't have even tried. I wouldn't have even tried. I'd have looked at my GRE scores and I'd be like, there's no way that's happening. Maybe there's a better word than ignorance. I'm not quite sure what it is. Blind faith is good. Blind faith is good. Yeah, people think that if you enter the world with this open canvas, see, what I say, I don't know what I don't know. And I say that today. I don't know what I don't know. But boy, I'm willing to stay open to see it. Yeah. And that's the key.
Openness. And we need to wrap up for our first break. We've been talking with Dr. Pat Baccili about her vision of full power. And now we're going to go into a short break. Oh, but before we do, Dr. Pat, how can listeners reach out to you?
The best way to go is to transformationnetwork.com. That's going to be our pivotal place for everybody to find out what we're doing. My company is Unlimited Possibilities now, but there's so much you can find from the transformationnetwork.com. Everything is there. And find out about me, find out about you, find out about everybody.
And lots of other cool folks. Right. And you can find out about all things fabulous on my website, www.fullpowerwomen.com. And stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello, we're back on Find Your Fabulous with Dr. Diane. My guest today is Dr. Pat Baccili, and she and I were talking about pathways to personal power and resilience. So let's keep rolling on this topic. Now, you and I, being very mature, both